Hi students, welcome to this tutorial class about awkward sentences. What are awkward sentences? Are those sentences which are difficult or confusing to read. There are some, we will see the main causes, yes? And with this kind of sentences, we may have to guess at the writer's meaning, because of course they are not clear. Usually, our purpose in writing is to make our writing clear, easy, and fast to read. So it is a must that we must avoid this kind of sentences. Now, why are they awkward? Let's start with this example. I want to study law, to work hard, and becoming a good lawyer. In your opinion, is there something wrong with this sentence, and what is it? And what changes would you make to fix it? Pay attention to the verb want, for example. Let's see the answer. When a sentence is not parallel, all of its grammatical parts or units are not balanced. Now, what is parallelism in grammar? It is defined as two or more phrases or clauses in a sentence that have the same grammatical structure. In the previous example, let's go back to the previous slide. You can see that you have the verb want, which is followed by to infinitive. Yes, and here you have a gerund. So there is the problem. The correct version is I want to study law, to work hard, and to become a good lawyer. So all the verbs that follow the verb want are in the to infinitive form. A sentence can also be awkward because it has a mixed construction. Think about the concept of mixed construction. And let's read the example. A person taking on the role of caregiver for another, a sick elder perhaps, is a very demanding job. What's wrong with this? And again, what sentence component would you change to fix it? Pay attention to the color code. Okay, let's see the answer. When a sentence has a mixed construction, the subject of the sentence does not match the verb or the verb does not match the object. You know, mixed constructions, a mixed construction is a sentence with incompatible elements that begins with one type of structure and changes to another type of structure all of a sudden, yes? And the writer or the speaker sets out to say one thing and then switches to something else, resulting in confusion. So, in the example before, the core of the sentence or the structure, which is subject, verb, object, is actually saying that a person is a job, which of course is not logical. It might take just a small change, just a small change to fix it. In this case, a verb change. So, a person taking on the role of a caregiver for another, a sick elder perhaps, has a very demanding job. Let's see the following sentence. Teachers, a noble profession, involves a lot of patience. The thing here is that teachers is not a profession. Yes? So, how would you change this sentence to make it clearer? There are more than one option here, yes, and changes you can make. You can say that, for example, teachers have a lot of patience. Teaching is a noble profession that involves a lot of patience. Or, finally, teaching is a noble profession, and then you start a whole new sentence by saying teachers have a lot of patience. It is easier to understand, it is clearer, and your goal is achieved, yes? A sentence can be awkward because it has unnecessary nominalizations. You are already familiar with the concept of nominalizations, yes? For example, attempts at explanations for increases in voter participation in this year's elections were offered by several candidates. I have highlighted the word explanations, but there are more nominalizations in these sentences. How many can you identify? As a sort of revision, we can say that nominalizations are created when we use verbs and adjectives as nouns. There are times when nominalizations are useful, but generally sentences are always much clearer if we use these words as verbs or adjectives, not nouns. That is to say, we should avoid the overuse of nominalizations to write more straightforward sentences. Now, how would you modify the example above to make it more easy to read? So I will give you some seconds for you to think about the other nominalizations and the modifications you can make to the sentence. Okay, here you have attempts, explanations, increases, participations, like 4 nominalized words in just one sentence, which is quite a lot. The corrected version is several candidates attempted to explain why more voters participated in this year's elections. Let's see the following problem. A sentence can be awkward because it has unnecessary passive voice. Passive voice and nominalizations go hand in hand, yes? I will use the same example as before. I have highlighted the by phrase by several candidates, which is the agent in this case. As I have just said, nominalizations and passive voice often go together because in both cases, the doer of the action is not in the subject position, but should be. No? How can you fix these problems? I have used inverted commas. They are because it is not a problem unless the meaning is not clear. Okay? Okay, the corrected version is several candidates attempted to explain why more voters participated in this year's election. What I have done here is to place the agent of the passive voice construction in the subject position. And finally, a sentence can be awkward because it is full of wordiness and gobbledygook. Let's see this example and its translation. It is important to effect the verbalization of concepts through the utilization of unsophisticated terminology. That means speak simply. Yes, many of you may believe that you must use the largest polysyllabic words you can find, but good writing is not about using the most sophisticated word. It is about using the best word. To put it in a nutshell, short and sweet and straight to the point. You will have to solve some activities in the practical work section based on this tutorial. So I hope you have found it useful. Okay, see you next time.